would imagine, like, as soon as you got this script, it was just turning each page and just laughing your head off.
Absolutely, it was great. It was just seeing the title, Death of Stalin. You think, this is whoa. Why has nobody done this before? So it was fantastic, and it was quite interesting process meeting all the other, actors. Some of them like a very, big film actors like Steve and Andrea, Tambo. He's been around for years, and then Simon Russell Bill, of course. He can memorise about 8 Shakespeare plays at once, backwards.
I know, don't you hate people like that?
When we got to the first read through, he'd memorised the whole script. It wasn't being boastful. He'd just done it, and I do remember thinking, I did say to him, "Well, that's a bit stupid because he's going to rewrite it tomorrow." And of course, it was rewritten every day.
Really?
Yeah, it was really. Yeah, and some days we filmed a scene, and then we'd film another scene a couple of days later that almost explained the previous scene. So, so it was a very sort of, it was a kind of loose process, shall we say?
Was Amanda
but I think initially it was about 3 hours, and so edited it right down and took out about 2 hours of my most glorious material. But don't worry, I'm going to use it elsewhere.
And these people are complicated. They're not particularly sympathetic. So what was it like inhabiting those?
Well, they're not particularly sympathetic, but they overthrew a regime that wasn't particularly sympathetic. And sometimes you have to fight fire with fire. They had to overthrow, the Tsarist regime, which was brutal in the extreme. So you have to fight fire with fire. So they're not shrinking violets, and nor would they be. However, the old adage, power corrupts, and all power corrupts absolutely, or whatever it is. I'm sure one of the Oxbridge types will know. Rings true, especially with them, because the ideals of the revolution, you can't really fault equality. You can't really. But the way in which it was realised, and then the subsequent, decline, it makes you very cynical, really, about all politics, doesn't it?
Yes, especially in these times, indeed.
Yeah, so we might as well laugh.
Or we'll cry.